Hello, and welcome to the director's commentary of World Gone Blind, a short film that me, Joshua Coverdale, wrote and directed. And this was for my final major project for my creative media course in college. And we were given full free rein to do whatever we wanted, and this is what I ended up with, even though many people suggested I may need therapy. That's a different conversation, though. So this is what I made. I'm very happy with how it turned out. A lot of the ideas that I took were from a bunch of films I enjoyed at the time. Major inspirations, sort of taking a bit from The Boy, a bit from John Wick, all sorts, to try and make something that I thought was quite fun and new, which is debatable. But I'm very happy with how it turned out, and I thought it'd be quite fun to let you in on some of the small details that maybe you didn't pick up on or would have no idea unless I told you. So without further ado, let's get into that. That bottle there is of a vial of liquid is simply just fairy liquid from underneath the kitchen counter, which I think works really well. So this shot here was completely unintentional. In my storyboard, I went into this just trying to adhere to the rule of thirds with Jaden here, who plays Hero, just sitting on one of those lines, completely not really taking the fact that there'll be quite a lot of negative space to the left of them. However, later down the line, when I thought about doing credits or an intro of some kind, just to tie it all together, I thought this would actually be the perfect place to do it, and quite out of focus in the background, not bringing too much attention, because I feel like if you have too bold of an intro, that kind of it can distract from the audience, I think. So I think it was kind of done well here, where it's almost from Jaden's perspective, kind of out of focus in the background. I think it matches that quite well and works overall.
Dad wouldn't have wanted this,
So the voices there were I tried to do as little ADR, which is basically when you dub over voices for films like this. I wanted to do as little of that as possible and try and get all the audio I needed on set. So all the voices here, completely from the original performances, as we'll see here. The only thing that I slightly tweaked was some of the pitch, because the echo of there was a slight echo in this car park that we're filming at, which was just a bit out of my control. Although you'll see in a few seconds, everyone who's speaking in the shot will have a little clip on, and that's the microphone we were using, which I think is funny because you can see them disappear from person to person. So the echo they have is completely added in post, because I wanted to have, the full range of control when it came to the vocals of this film.
Remember, we're doing this for Dad. Whatever happens here is for him.
So the whole idea of this first beginning bit is that it's trying to build up the idea that there's some stuff we haven't seen. There's been a whole story before this that we not privy to, we haven't seen yet. So I always find it really annoying in films when they just try and explain exposition, when they're trying to just get all the information out there in a really, really unnatural way. Biggest offender of this is when they say in films, "as you know," which I despise. So I wanted to try and show you can tell a story without showing it through just dialogue, and try to at least. I think I did fairly well. As the whole idea is, you're not meant to get a 100% clear image of what happened, but you're meant to get a fairly basic understanding of who your characters are, what they might want, and the situation they were put in, which I think is conveyed fairly well.
If you really believe that, you wouldn't have gone into hiding for so long.
I told you, I couldn't risk these guys coming after you too. You're all I've got left.
No, these guys killed Dad.
So this idea of the focus kind of going back and forth between them. I kind of wanted, in my mind, when I was doing the storyboard for this, I wanted it to sort of reflect Hero's like mental state, I suppose you could call it, as like he kind of battles between having his own thoughts, being aware of everything, and focusing on his brother, who may need a bit more attention considering the violent acts they're about to commit. And I thought the focus battling between them could be quite a good way of showing that, showing it literally being what he is focusing on, as Quentin kind of tries to take his attention, which leads into the build-up that we'll see in a second.
And they were coming after you. You only hit yourself to cover your own ass.
I did it for you.
Like how you did.
Listen.
So that stinger there at the end is something that I've heard all the time in films such as these. Typically it's meant to be like increase attention and almost reflect, I want to say, the ringing someone might get in their ear. And I think the tension here really builds up and works, especially this hard cut where Hero looks directly at Quentin, kind of stealing the focus, like I mentioned, back onto him.
Listen.
And or the music that builds up, kind of quenching just then. I think this intro bit really works to show the kind of, I wouldn't say rivalingly dynamic, more conflicted.
Why do you want me here?
Well, since I had you make our product, I thought you'd want to see it in action. But that chemistry degree to use.
I had to steal stuff from the lab for this. Sure, Dad gets killed. I had a life. And now there's who taken care of. Just like him.
We're in this together.
Now, so something you might realise is that in these early stages, there's quite a lot of camera bubble, which I didn't entirely intend to. Later down the line, when there's quite, a lot of action, a lot of tension, that's when I wanted to save the camera shake for, because I thought it would, almost put the audience in place and make them look like, they're there, they're feeling the tension of the scene. But in this opening bit where there's less so tension, I wanted it to be quite stable. However, then this is a learning point for me. The gimbal that I was using, I didn't calibrate correctly. And a gimbal essentially just tries to keep your camera as perfectly stable as it can. And if you don't calibrate correctly, it can lead to issues such as this. So since we're on quite a limited time with the location, I didn't have enough time to calibrate as well as I could have, and it results in a slight shake, which I think is unnoticed, like not largely noticeable, but I think it can get on people's nerves a little bit in this early bit.
It won't be you who gets taken care of.
Revenge. Revenge won't do you any good,
So this bit here, with the car approaching, the original idea was, because out of all the actors in this film, I'm the only one who could drive at the time, and however, I had to be behind the camera, making sure I got the shot I wanted, so I couldn't be the one driving. So instead, we just used a really, really powerful flashlight and shone it on the side of Jaden's face here to make it look like headlights approaching. And I think this shot worked quite well. We tried to do the same thing in the next shot. However, the light isn't strong enough to get that scale, so it kind of just looks like a weak, ray. So that could have maybe had some of a solution to it. But for this one shot, I think it worked quite well.
It's not too late to walk away.
It's been too late for years.
So that transition there was directly inspired by the director's Edgar Wright's work. I'm just a massive fan of his kind of style and directing choices of how he'll transition and detail his scenes. So that pillar coming across right there, I'm fairly certain there's tons of things like that in Scott Pilgrim versus the World, which I think could maybe be seen as out of place in a film like this. But ultimately, I think it's fun. I think it's a much more dynamic way of getting to the next shot, and I think it looks cool. So,
Jesus Christ, the rumors are true. Those are real. Take after your father in that way.
So Oliver here also didn't have his character name stated in the film. His name is Henry, if for those who want to know. But the costume choice we wanted for them all is something that maybe people didn't pick up on, which is so we decided. I decided to sort of show three different kinds of characters in this film. One, those who maybe a bit more good and not wanting to see violence. Those who are quite violent people, and then those who are in between, not really sure which way to lean. And the way we reflect that is in the costume here with Quentin being the more scared and frail character, not really wanting to do any of this, being the one dressed in blue, quite a calm, positive colour in comparison to Oliver Henry, who's wearing quite a red waistcoat, which red, arguably the most recognisably evil colour. And then we have Jaden here dressed in grey, which is not to be subtle, but kind of showing moldy grey, because I thought it'd be quite interesting to show three different kind of characters and to convey them and show you which is meant to be which. So yeah.
Get that. I suppose I should congratulate you on hiding all this time, even if a little bit.
We give you this, we're done. Forever. Right?
I'm an honest man, and you have my word, Jaden.
So in this particular sequence, something I just find quite funny is that Oliver here, he's only 19, same age as me, and Hero here is played by Jaden, who's 21 years old. So, however, it's just because of the height difference that calling him a kid really works. I think it might just be the height, the difference between their heights. But yeah, I'm just gushing because I think Oliver did a really good job of portraying this antagonist and being quite sinister, really. So everyone did great in this. I couldn't have asked for a better crew.
If this drug is all you say it's cracked up to be, well, it's a game changer. And I might be inclined to let what happened with your dad slide.
So here we have a POV shot of Quentin going to deliver the briefcase to Henry. And for those who are just as nerdy as me, you may recognize that this briefcase here is actually from the Hitman game franchise with, Agent 47, Assassin, all that stuff. That is purely just because it was the closest thing to a heavy-duty briefcase that I had. So sure, there's a little Easter egg for those who might have picked up on it.
What? What's the matter? Something on your mind? Hey!
A deal's a deal. Leave him alone.
So the henchman here, played by my friend Yuri, was written in because I wanted to keep the audience sort of second guessing whether Henry would actually keep to their word. So with Yuri stepping forward and sort of challenging Quentin being all aggressive, and Henry being the one to push him aside and show diplomacy. It was meant to keep the audience unsure whether he'd actually go through the deal until obviously we find out he doesn't.
Wouldn't matter much now. Although, I hope you understand, but I really don't like loose ends.
So so a change in the script here. It actually the hero was also going to have a gun. That Henry was going to disarm him here. Tell him to throw it aside. However, just trying to better my writing. I wanted to take from Chekhov's gun, which states that if a gun's in a show, then at some point it's meant to go off, otherwise don't have it. So I thought, that gun doesn't ever get used in the original draft of the script, so I'm just take it out. And honestly, it works better because it shows kind of just how powerless Hero and Quentin appear to be at this stage until what happened. And even then, it's just a weird questioning thing of why would they have a gun when Hero's about to do what they're going to do. So no, that's a bit of a script refinement there.
After hiring all this time, I honestly thought you'd show up with at least some backup. I'm sorry for mistaking you as smarter than you are.
So another thing here that people may not, unless you're really observant for some reason, the second henchman on the left-hand side here is actually played by Brandon, the henchman. Brandon Quentin. He had a multi-role. We only had 4 people on set, so therefore we needed someone to be the second henchman. So in between takes, I just had Brandon very quickly switching outfits, putting on a black hoodie and a balaclava, and I honestly he looks less recognizable than I thought he would. So I'm glad that turned out like that.
Anything left to say?
We didn't need that.
So this shot specifically, when I was thinking about it in my head, I wanted it. I used the descriptor of the Kubrick skid stare quite a bit, and that comes from Stanley Kubrick. He had a tendency to have his actors just deliver really deep, unnerving stares into the just past the camera, and I thought it's quite a good way of building suspense and tension, because you don't know what's going on in their head. The whole point, their facial expression are so blank and visceral that you have no idea what they're thinking, and the actions could be very unpredictable. So I thought showing that here with Hero would be quite revealing in some way, I guess.
Whatever makes you feel better. It's nothing personal. Say hi to dear old Dad for me, will you?
So, this is where one of my major influences you can probably recognize come from, being The Matrix. Because for a very long time, I just think bullet time looks cool. Just the bullets slowing down and dodging them is so great. And I thought having this be the kick, to kick off all the practical effects would be quite good. Even in the script, I labelled the 2 halves of the film, Part A and Part B, with the first half having no effects, or very little, and the second half being the full effect heavy. I mean, I think it is genuinely dead on half of the film is action, and then half is discussion, which I didn't realise until right now. So I think that worked out quite well.
You can check us.
So it's the reason why you see it Hero slowing down and dodging bullet twice is because I feel like if you only show what happens the first time and the bullet passes and that's it, you might miss what's going on. If I just cut to the shot after this, you'd have no idea what happened. Like you would have thought maybe they all died or something. But having Hero here duck out the way in real time with a bullet hitting the back of the wall, that definitely helped communicate to the audience. I mean, those effects took a while. Could have been better. But no, I think they deliver what I wanted.
Oh my god. What?
So this one shot actually displayed what I was aiming for with the car being in the back. I was at the time a massive fan of The Walking Dead, particularly around when the character Negan gets introduced. And if you know anything about that show, you know that there's a bunch of headlights in his introduction, and that's all the lighting in that scene, and it's really well done. And I wanted quite a similar thing because I feel like in a way Henry has a lot of those similar sort of quality to being quite cocky, arrogant, and even in control when he's clearly not. So I thought that'd be quite a nice homage. However, the headlights are just a little bit too low, as we were all on a little suspended platform in the car park, whereas the car was still just a little bit lower, so it's just a bit too low to be properly hit the camera. So if I were to do this again, I'd just try and maybe tilt the light up to really get that light hitting the camera. It's only down here where I'm crouched down next to at eye level with the headlights that it's really apparent what I was trying to do. So at least we got one shot of that happening. So something that I was really going back and forth on doing was making the background just completely black and white, whilst Jaden here was moving in super speed. Because I felt like that would maybe really help convey and just get across that they're going at a different time to everyone else, and it's similar to sort of other shows I've seen or films or whatever, where everything out, it really just helps make them stand out. However, I thought just in this film where I'm trying to do things for the most part realistic, it didn't work, I didn't think. So I just kept the lighting how it is, and instead used people acting to try and convey that time's slowing down and that Jaden's the only one going at a really fast speed. So although I would be interested to see like an alternate cut where I actually did go ahead with that black and white idea, could have been quite different.
Dynamics.
So that little whip pan there, it's actually a whip cut. I was, again, something quite Edgar Wright inspired. Well, actually not even that, just filmmaking. But yeah, so this shot of Oliver and the subsequent shot of Yuri, two completely different shots, and you just whip the camera in the same direction, and and edit it to, and the blur will just kind of trick the brain into thinking that you've just seen there's the same video. Like there, that actually right there, that's the difference. There we go. Then we have that shot.
Where's the dog? Well, I can leave it and to tell us in this one.
Let's go. So let's. Sure. Oh.
Thank you. So, alternate draft here. Henry was originally actually gonna just call for backup for other people. However, I already had in mind that I wanted the police to be there at the end to, tie everything together somehow. I wanted the police to be there, and this was the only logical way I could kind of build up to the police eventually getting here at some point. So that's and additionally, if he called for backup for his own people, that'd only be introducing like more characters and more actors. I didn't have the budget, so no, we just use this instead as a setup to the payoff of the police around me at the end, which I think worked well. However, I also think it works to kind of show Henry's character a bit more as trying to look like he's in control when really he's calling people who probably would arrest him after this anyway, showing just how little in power he actually is, even though he wants to come across like it.
The calling that we're collect the one time I need you fucking people. You people that's the have it.
So so the little sound effect there of the swishing, it is very simply just me going into the mic 4 times, as many times as I move, and speeding it up, give me a little pitch, just to make that so just a little bit of Foley in there to give a bit of uniqueness. Okay, this scene here. So this is the second take. Because the first take, I used my phone. In no way I was going to use an actual camera for this bit, just in case anything happened. So I just had my phone down, put it down on the floor, because it also was a wide enough camera to show it was clearly Jaden stepping on the phone. It was the second take, because on the first take, Jaden actually slammed a bit too far down and nudged the camera and basically made it spin 360. And almost fully stepped on it. Luckily they didn't, and I could still get a ride home after this week from this.
Oh my god.
So you might have seen there, Oliver just had a bit of blood on his face. It's not massively clear in the rest of the film, but is there, and the ingredient is actually just red food dye, a little bit of water, and some cocoa powder, which I told him was cornstarch, and I don't know why he believed me. They did not have the same consistency, but it worked well. It came off. It didn't stain, thankfully.
You're in another.
What is that?
So yeah, another little goof up here that just I on the fly had to fix is that I didn't think about the fact Jaden has glasses, and in this scene, Jaden's about to turn around with laser eyes, and I forgot that Jaden had glasses, so I thought it'd just be as simple as turn around and you have laser eyes. So I had to very quickly just go, Jaden, take your glasses off as you're turning around. I forgot you had them. Sorry. So the laser eyes here. Quite a bit of work went into this one. Several lens flares. Use a bit of fractal noise around the eyes, masking. Even use a bit of Mocha Pro, which is software you can use in After Effects to make your what's it called? Things move the way track well onto certain objects like places here. I took a lot of inspiration from The Boys, for the whole film, but mainly this usage of superpowers. It's quite iconic. Iconic, quite infamous. The red laser eyes, and I thought this whole film is meant to be a sort of subversion on the superhero genre. Because I went into this thinking I wanted it to be a superhero type of film, and I've kind of left thinking it's more thriller that happened to have superhero sort of iconography and features in it. So no, I'm happy with how it shifted genre-wise, because I think it worked better not having too much of a focus on one half than the other. So that bit there, that was the most concerning part of the edit to me, because I was very worried about it not looking too cheesy or not very good. And honestly, for the most part, someone of my age and ability, I'm very happy with it. This was done originally. I was gonna make this way harder for myself, and have this have Yuri cut horizontally across their rib, which I do not envy myself. I don't get why I was down to punish myself that much by wanting me to do that. But no, this was definitely the better option, to say the least. Because yeah, you can definitely hide a lot of it off screen, which I do. But yeah, we just had 2 layers here. One of Jaden physically, performing the laser vision, and Yuri just standing dead still in front. Didn't move the camera, so you could very easily lay them on top of each other to result in this. And I honestly think it's one of the best parts of what I've done in my course.
Listen,
God damn this. No, I birthday.
Oh, stupid Rafito. I have a faith. You never could unfeel it down. I'm sure you're lost. But you're going forever because the same for years. You don't even never go back. It's never ever.
So, Henry's last little hurrah, vocal bit there, monologue, was kind of meant to wrap the whole themes of this film up, as the idea of this film is meant to be about revenge and the kind of cyclical nature of it. How someone committing revenge just causes more revenge. If you ever played The Last of Us, it's a lot like that, and I wanted to cover those topics in this. So yeah, Henry there was just kind of detailing what could actually happen. What would happen until Quentin does what he does. To kind of, tie everything together, and I think it adds a good bit of drama towards the end.
yeah, it should.
Yeah.
So, Hero's psychic ability there can be a lot more involved, a lot less involved than I originally wanted it to be. Essentially, it was just going to be Hero putting the hand out, and there just being a bit of a distortion around the hand, kind of sort of like 11 from Stranger Things, where it's not too effect heavy, and Oliver here just needed to pretend like he was throwing the knife against his will. However, I thought it wasn't exactly coming together how I wanted it, so I decided to make it quite obvious that there was some sort of force that Hero was using to make Henry drop his knife. So I just gave myself more work, really.
Sit there. This doesn't mean anything.
So another thing I wanted to do throughout this film was play a lot with the power dynamics that would be, shared across this entire, project. And so it started off with Henry being quite, as I mentioned earlier, almost looming over Hero, showing he's more physically able, could definitely beat him in a fight, and allow me to use a lower camera angle to kind of convey that Hero is maybe a bit out of their fighting capacity here, only for this to be subverted and switched over at the end here after Hero's done all the things they have, with Henry being on the floor and Hero high up, which I think is it's quite a nice juxtaposition how it was earlier, and it kind of and it also gives the character a bit of a reflection, because if you think how Henry's meant to be the antagonist here, and then now Hero's kind of taking their spot. It kind of lets the audience think a little bit more about, okay, maybe it's Hero here just as bad as them, or that's up for them to decide.
The same thing is what happened. Do you want to know something? I still have a loving family.
So did I.
So, that cut here is actually, the intention was the cut to happen just as Henry said his family, or almost like Hero wasn't exactly paying attention until he mentioned like his trigger word, I guess, is the best way to describe it. But yeah, the so family, like the whole idea is family revenge for your family. Hero had their family taken away from them, and this is the whole reason why they're doing these actions. So that cut there, yeah, it's almost like a click where Hero remembers what he's gonna do and then goes on to do it.
Sit. Wait. Stop. Yeah.
So in an alternate draft of the script, this scene here or sequence wasn't going to be in it at all. We weren't going to see who shot Hero until quite literally the very end. However, I thought that was maybe just a bit too dramatic and sudden without a bit of build-up or suspense. So this is why I decided to add in Quentin, just unsure whether to shoot Hero at this point before deciding to ultimately. Although I decided to kind of share the same effects that were happening when Hero was first went super speed, with the sort of faded, muffled audio with the heartbeat quite loud, to kind of show if Hero is meant to be a mirror for both, a mirror for Henry in terms of moral ambiguity. I wanted it to show that there's still maybe a bit of Quentin's goodness left in Hero. It's just a bit, they share the same qualities. There's still something between them that making him want to, fight for. A little give that I'll fully admit. That's a script on the right hand side in between the in the pillar. I think it was Oliver who maybe just needed to remember his lines and popped it there just so that he could have a little glance and remember what he needed to say. Thanks, Ollie.
Quentin, it's gone. I think it's over.
Again, blood. Well, I say it again. The little the blood on the camera thing there. Seen that tons of movies. It's like Saving Private Ryan. It's in everything. It's in everything. I think it looks great. So I thought, since Hero getting shot right there, right at the front, right in front of the camera, that'd be a great opportunity to have that feature. So I was really happy I managed to get that in. I think it looks really cool.
Yeah, I think it's over.
So at this point, it's the original intention is that Quentin was meant to see Hero and not really, and kind of be disturbed by what he turned to, killing all these people in the name of, vengeance. And so that was the original intention. However, I think just in the edit and maybe through the acting, the meaning of it changed somewhat, and you're more unsure whether Quentin did that because he felt he had to, just end the violence, or he wanted to become a part of it, maybe. Which I decided to play with that narrative in the final edit, and I thought the blue-red, juxtaposition was actually quite powerful for this. And I decided to have the final frame as the police approach him be both blue and red, leaving the audience unsure whether he has turned, blue good or red evil. Kind of sort of matching the Henry Quentin outfits from earlier. And yeah, so that's the film. And this little post-credits bit, I very quickly decided to get on the last day of our production for this. We had 4 weeks to do this, and I very quickly went outside, filmed this little bit of the lighter from earlier, just to add some sort of purpose. And I feel like the engraving there is actually an intersectional reference to the Netflix series Cyberpunk Edge Runners, which has a song in it that goes, "This fire is out of control, burn the city," which I thought going into this was kind of a good, kind of a fitting message for the film, or at least showing Hero's mental state at least. And so it's just a little reference to those who might get it, and I also use that show as quite a large foundation for some of the effects, like the super speed. Very much comes from the like visions of yourself behind you that come from that Cyberpunk show. So I thought I'd honor it in a small way with this. But besides that, thank you very much for joining me on this adventure. I'm very happy with what I ended up with. It's mostly 1-to-1 with what I had in mind, and ended up with maybe just a few little tweaks that I could do. But I hope maybe I've explained myself a bit better here than maybe people originally may have seen in the film. But besides that, thank you for joining me, guys. Thank you for watching the film in the first place. And I'll see you at some point in the future.